I'm YingYangGujju.
I'm
I am Persian.
YingYangGujju.
I am PersianLeonidus.
As you can tell, we're not professionals. So yes,
Don't
this is
drive it home,
our
kids.
this is our fifth slash sixth video, because we did actually have a video up. We actually had two videos up last week, albeit that was a video of me with Persian Leonidas and a version of YingYangGujju on his own while he was on vacation in Cancun. That lucky bastard. I'm currently in summer classes right now, so I wish I was in Cancun. And so today is our sort of fifth total episode in the WillSave, but third with the Persian Leonidas, who we're still happy to have, by the way. And
Yay.
yeah. And last week we did say we were gonna have stories ready, and just a bit of a refresher. The story thing is that for each log, your accountability partner, which in my case it would be YingYangGujju, and in wow, okay, sorry, we're doing this in a sort of circular thing, so it's a little bit complicated. So I'm writing the story for YingYangGujju's character. YingYangGujju's writing the character for Persian Leonidas, and Persian Leonidas is writing the story for my character. There we go, we got it. And I know we said we're going to have that. And okay, backtracking a little to what it actually is. So basically, for each log that we have, that basically how we do in a week affects the next bit of the story for our character. So if we go against our goals for most of the week, then that negatively affects our characters. If we make a lot of progress towards our goals, whatever they may be, that positively reflects our characters. Okay, back to what I was saying. I know we said we're going to have those today, but some of these excuses are going to sound really poor. YingYangGujju was in Cancun, so he didn't have access to his laptop. Persian Leonidas is working, and I started summer classes last week. So actually, of the three of us, I have the least excuses, because I actually did have free time sometimes, but it's just that I wasn't spending them on the story stuff.
So
today,
I didn't actually have a log for the last week. So
that too, because you didn't have access to your laptop, so you couldn't actually write them down in the Google Drive where we're actually doing everything.
It was a pretty good napkin too. I think I still have it somewhere, maybe.
Yep. So today, instead, what we're going to do is just sort of basically do what we did last week, except with all three of us here this time, where we're just going to talk about our logs, sort of reflect on how we did in the past week, and hopefully by next week we'll actually have two story snippets, one for the log for last week, and one for the log of 2 weeks ago, and one for the log of last week. So cool. And well, I guess we should get to the logs. So who'd like to go first? Well, it went to you first, so it goes to you. You go first.
Okay. So this week, just to summarize for you guys, if you guys have been previously watching, I'm currently battling a sex addiction or a porn addiction right now. And I guess I'm getting that out into the world. So whoop-de-doo. You guys find this. Fuck you guys. But yeah, so sorry. You can bleep that out if you want to. But yeah, so basically I'm battling a porn addiction. And this whole time I have failed miserably in all my attempts. So this week I'm making an effort to record my impulses when they come up, because I haven't been really focusing on a system in trying to combat that. Rather, what I was trying to do this week was do basically a push-up challenge, reading every day, and meditation. I didn't do meditation at all this week, but I did do a lot. I did every day. I did the push-up challenge, and for some of the days, alternating, I did reading. Unfortunately, for me, my log is going to be very short, and I don't have it on me right now. In fact, it's actually in my room. So, It's actually on a whiteboard. And the way the whiteboard looks, I'll actually draw it out for you right here because I don't feel like getting up. It's gonna look something like this. Let me go ahead and change the camera really quick. All right. So I don't know how well I can do this, but so basically it's drawn in a grid where okay, so there we go with ink. So it's going to be drawn out in a grid like this, and we're gonna go ahead and do my best to like on. So for each day of the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday with an R, and Friday with an F, and then Saturday with an S, and then Sunday with an SU. So my log has been basically like this, and I write down my goals as such for the day. Basically, I want to make this a habit. So push up, and then I put a check if I did it, and an X. Simple. Meditation looked something like this. Push-ups are all check marks, and reading was something like this. I'm gonna go ahead and yep. And probably before the day is over, I'm gonna read, but I haven't put down for Sunday yet. So yeah, that's kind of what it looked like for this week. So in order to update everything, just for a quick update, next week, I'm gonna hold myself accountable and make a more computerized log on top of that. One of the ways actually that I have been doing that I think helps me out a lot in terms of mindfulness as well is having something to write down on. So I actually bought a whiteboard recently. I can probably show that off later. If you guys want to see it, comment below. But right now it's probably gonna be looking like just spreadsheets and spreadsheets and spreadsheets and spreadsheets. To work on time management and other things. It's a lot. It's like we're all trying to do a million different things at once, and right now I'm just trying to figure out some keystone habits that are going to change my life. And I found that when I was most active, which is why I did the push-up challenge, when I was my most mindful, which I was why I'm doing meditation, and when I was getting a lot of knowledge, which is why I'm reading more, I found that my life, there was a whole week in my life where I was actually, well, a month actually, where I was doing that. And my life basically felt better, and I felt better about myself. So that's why I'm going to be doing all this other stuff on top of it. I don't know if that made any sense, but basically physical activity, mindful activities, and logic activities are the three things I want to work on. So that way I can boost all those areas up. And yeah, so to summarize it, if you just skip ahead to here, I failed to not masturbate the whole week, and I basically did a lot of push-ups, but no meditation, but with some reading. So yeah, that's pretty much it for me. Take it away, guys.
All right. I guess I will go next. All right. And I actually have my log right here. And boom. All right. So, all right. I'm assuming you guys can see this, but this is my log for this week. And as you guys can see, I actually decided to base my log format off of the way YSageBum did this. I saw the way he did, and I actually really liked the format. So I'm going to be doing my logs that in this format from now on. But yeah, one thing to note is I wasn't able to log my meals with as much accuracy as YSageBum did does on his logs, and that's mainly just because since I'm all over the place right now. I was in Cancun, I was in Houston, right now I'm in San Antonio. But for the most part, I really don't actually have control over the exact proportions of what goes into my meal, so I can't exactly record that because I really don't know. So I mean, I basically just at least for this week, I just kind of recorded what I had, and I couldn't really go into details of it. But I mean, for the most part, I'm gonna break this down in terms of what my 3 goals were, which are diet, exercise, and then meditation. So in terms of diet, I pretty much consistently just failed on that all across the board. I had a couple of good meals throughout the week, breakfast, a couple of breakfasts a day and stuff like that. But for the most part, anything good I did have, I ended up counteracting later on in the day with stuff like this. So my diet fell off pretty hard on this week. It was I pretty much all across the board every day. I failed on my diet. What I did in terms of exercise, it was a little bit spotty. There were days where I had a good amount of exercise between traveling, walking around airports, walking to the hotel, walking out from the hotel to get food, that kind of stuff. There were some days where I got a lot of exercise. I walked a lot, did a lot of swimming, but then there were also other days where I just kind of lazed around the hotel and didn't do anything. So I ended up getting a decent amount of exercise about 4 days out of the week, but then the other 3 days I just kind of sat around. But what was really the highlight of my week, what really just set this week apart for me, was meditation. Now, on Sunday, I didn't meditate, but pretty much from Monday all the way through till Thursday, I meditated every day for a half an hour a day. And that really did wonders for me because, I kind of went into Cancun sort of worried about all the other stuff I have to do after vacation is over. And by the end of it, I was just I had such a peace of mind that it was really amazing. It felt great. I left Cancun with the knowledge that I could anything that I'm facing right now, I can work it out. That was something that I attained by just taking the time every day to just be mindful, to meditate, and just sort of it helped me shift my perspective on life and see that there's nothing that I'm handling that's going on in my life right now that I can't handle. So that it was really good for that. I'm sad to say that I have not meditated since Thursday. So I haven't had a chance to. I didn't meditate on Friday or Saturday. I have not yet had a chance to meditate today, but the day's not done yet. So we'll see how that goes. But other than that, that's pretty much my log for the week. Oh, and there we go. All right.
And that just leaves me. And in terms of goals, I guess you could say, my 3 are basically fixing my diet because it's been pretty crap since August of last year. I mean, it's crap to the point where I literally gained 60 pounds in a matter of 8 months, which is certainly not something to applaud. And 2 is to basically up my exercise to sort of help with the cutting away at the 60 pounds and hopefully going beyond that. And the 3rd one is productivity because there are a lot of things I don't want to do, and and for the past couple of years, really, it just feels like I just haven't had the time to do it. And I know for a fact it's not because of the amount of work that I'm currently doing. It's just because I'm just really not I just haven't been really great at time management for the past, let's just say, a couple of years. Yeah, possibly, probably longer than that because it's always been a problem. It's always been an on-off problem with me. So in my log, I don't really have anything to anything related to productivity yet. That's because things kind of got started a little bit quickly. Like I said, I started summer classes last week, so a lot of my workspace, a lot of my time has basically been getting used to classes, getting used to where the building, getting used to where my classes are, getting used to new classwork, getting used to new professors, blah 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 blah. So, long ramble aside, I'll just cut to the log then, and and there we go. And there we go. So yeah, I sort of have a similar situation to YingYangGujju where I mean, I have some good days, but then even on the days where I go bad, I have good meals. But again, if you go bad on a day, it doesn't really matter if you have a good meal because you kind of just negated all the progress you made with the good meal, with the crappy meal. And also one thing you will learn through this log is apparently I have some kind of addiction to gum. Because as you can see, breakfast, I started with 3 pieces of Cobalt 5 gum. Very good stuff, but very, pieces of it in a morning. 2 chicken kebabs, 1 tablespoon peanut butter, 1 teaspoon sriracha. By the way, this combo, 1 tablespoon peanut butter with 1 teaspoon sriracha. Great, great, great way to have some budget Thai peanut sauce. If you have some coconut milk, just add a little bit of that, and bam, you got something that's not really like the real thing, but good enough. You get the flavors in there at least. Then 3 tablespoons of chia seeds. Why just chia seeds on their own? Because they're really, really high in fiber, and fiber is really good at keeping you regular in that way. But also, also fiber is actually very good for your stomach. Actually keeps your stomach from dissolving itself, which I think is pretty important. And then a cup of coffee. And this might look like a bad entry, but Dutch cocoa powder is actually it is very, very, it's not processed very much at all, and it's actually only, a tablespoon of it's only about 11 calories, so it's really not, it doesn't really sway, things that much. And 1 tablespoon of heavy whipping cream, which is sort of a neutral, something that's really nice as a little bit of a dollop here, there, just add it to your coffee, maybe add it to your breakfast, but it's not something you should be doing every single meal or just really in excess in any way. And lunch was also pretty good. Excuse me. 2 pieces of baby oil cheese, 2 slices of turkey. I'm not going to go through everything. Just I'm not going to say everything on the list because you can read, and also there's still a lot because as you can see, and as like YingYangGujju said, I am very thorough with this. So yeah, it's overall, this meal is great, and maybe just I could lay off of these because they're actually very high in sodium, which given the fact that I am also very obese and come from a family with a history of heart disease, that's not exactly the best way to go. Snack 5 pieces of gum. 5 pieces of 5 gum, by the way. Dinner, 4 ounces of salmon and olive oil, tomatoes, cucumbers, basically a good meal. And then sort of the triple threat, basically what I want to get every single day, minus productivity at the moment, but again, I'll add that later. I didn't binge on food, stay under the calorie limit, and exercise, which in this case I just put down as hiking. Later on, I just put it down as exercised or not. And Monday, the beginning of the day that I realized how hard this is going to be. Because breakfast starts well, eggs, cheese, salsa, and then there's lunch. Yeah, this is why you should really, and that happened partially because it's, basically I have a binge eating issue, and chocolate is one of the things that really gets that, makes that really, really bad. But at the same time, on Monday in particular, is because I didn't space out my meals properly. So basically I had like a 5-hour gap between breakfast and lunch. And so I just couldn't help myself. Like, fuck it, chocolate, nothing, chocolate or nothing. And snacks, 2 pieces of gum, a protein bar, which is actually really nice, some cheese, which is okay, but really salty, so not in excess. And then a salad, which actually looks really nice. And then coffee. And then dinner looks really nice again. 2 eggs, 4 tablespoons of cheese, Irish butter, salsa, and avocado. I tend to eat this meal a lot, so I'll probably just I'll end up skipping over it whenever it just starts repeating. Exact opposite of Sunday. And breakfast, bog standard breakfast like you saw on Monday, or Tuesday, sorry. Bog standard breakfast on Monday. Lunch, much better than the binging on chocolate. So, chicken, tablespoons of feta cheese, center tomatoes, kale, almonds, pretty much as clean as you can get. And then snack, 8 pieces of cobalt gum spread out throughout the day. Chicken, cheese, turkey, peanut butter, and dinner, same as the day before. So didn't binge on junk food, but also didn't exercise. So basically, I might have actually been borderline starving myself on Tuesday, or at the very least, I wasn't eating as much as I probably should have been. And I stayed on my calorie limit, but again, caveats apply. Wednesday, same as Monday and Tuesday, same as Monday and Tuesday, or same as Tuesday at least. God, not the same as Monday. And then you begin an apple, looks good so far. Peanut butter protein bar, looks good so far. Cheese, good so far. Binged on fucking chocolate again. Yeah. Like I said, it is a problem with me. Working on it, but it's still a problem. And then dinner, which is a little unique. Teriyaki shrimp with cabbage, bell pepper, and peanuts. And to top it all off, 2 pieces of 5 gum. And yeah, so as you can see, sort of a repeat of Monday in that department. Thursday, bog standard breakfast, but with 2 pieces of gum. Bog standard lunch. Again, gum, neutral. Turkey, great. Apple, nice. Cheese, okay, except not in excess. And then, there we go. Binge on chocolate again. And YingYangGujju is currently giving me thumbs down right now. So I feel a great shame on me right now. Such as excess adipose. And then dinner, sort of bog standard, like to what you saw between Monday and Tuesday. Friday, didn't log food or exercise because, well, that was a particularly rough day in terms of just getting used to classes and getting work done. But that just counts as a massive negative towards me because that basically means that I'm not even keeping track anymore. And then Saturday, bringing it back because breakfast, coffee with 2 slices of turkey, which is okay. Lunch, half a cup of kidney beans, 1 teaspoon cream cheese, 5 teaspoons stevia sweetener, 2/3 a cup of vegetables, 2/3 a cup of cherries. Cherries are great, by the way. You should just get as many as you can. They're great. 1 tablespoon olive oil, 1 egg, 2 apricots, 13 corn chips. That's technically a negative, but the corn chips that my family buys are fairly healthy. It's just that I should probably reduce that number in the future. Because again, salt and carbs, which will probably negatively affect me if I do in excess. For example, by eating 14 corn chips over the course of multiple snacks in the day. And it's got 2 chicken kebabs, and the dinner here is 5 sea scallops, 1 cup of spinach, 3/4 a cup of broccoli, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, 1 tablespoon of peanuts, and again, repeated the triple threat that I got on Sunday. Now, hopefully I should, and basically I should try to repeat my Sundays and Saturdays during the weekdays as well. Otherwise, I'll probably end up shortchanging myself in the long run. Okay, that's it for me. And returning to the presentation.
Whoop,
Cool.
whoop.
Sweet biz.
So yeah.
All right.
At the end of the day, like pretty much the one thing I want to I want to reflect on one that thing is, again, like I said, I know I fell off in both exercise and food today, and that I'm not gonna make any excuses for that. I just didn't exercise because I didn't exercise. There's no, oh, I hurt myself, blah blah. I just didn't do it, and same thing with my food. But I do want to really take a moment to just again reiterate meditation. It really does wonders. Like it's still wow. Like I get blown away by how much just taking the time to just be mindful and just be present to like the moment can just like put everything into a completely different perspective. Everything you're dealing with, like everything you have to do with, it just completely shifts your priorities, shifts your perspective, and it does wonders for your mental health. It really does. That's really like the biggest takeaway I got this week because like I know I mentioned this in my video last week, but like it was so easy to just be in the moment in Cancun because like it's beautiful. It's just absolutely gorgeous. And I'm not saying that you have to be in Cancun to be mindful. I'm just saying like just being there in just such a wonderful place. It really helped me with it because for the longest time I had trouble meditating, but when I was there, it just sort of like a switch flipped for me, and all of a sudden like it was just that much easier. And like it was one of the greatest feelings I've ever had in my life, without a doubt. And I can't even like properly convey just exactly like what kind of what experiences because I honestly don't feel like it's the same for anybody, but it really is just wonderful, and that's really all I have to say on that.
As someone who has meditated for
That's-
long term, um, I want to put a disclaimer out for some people. Meditation, if you do it for a while, it can bring out a darker side of people that you didn't know was there. Well, that's the whole point of meditation. It's to kind of silence your mind and kind of empty out all of the personalities that you've had over the years. At least for the meditation that, like Zazen meditation or Vipassana, they're mainly there so that way you focus more so on the activity or lack thereof in order to basically develop a higher sense of self. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not Hindu or Buddhist, if you want, but from what I understand, by meditating, you basically try to achieve a higher sense of self, or at least get a taste of enlightenment,
well,
and then continue
as,
to work.
sorry, but as sort of someone who's sort of looked into this in the past, it's I mean the basics of it is to sort of shut your brain off. Like that is actually the point of it because there's literally a part of meditation which is which literally translates to the thoughtless state. It is basically to clear your mind and sort of root yourself in the moment.
Okay.
And basically, and you could also say it's a way of basically sort of putting yourself in perspective with your situation and the situation of other people. And if you want to take it to a particularly new agey sounding degree, your position in the universe. But
Right.
in like at its most, at its basic level, it's basically just sitting down, taking deep breaths, and just really just evaluating your perspective. Not your perspective, but your position in like just in people in your life and to the situations that you're dealing with.
I would
Because
disagree
oftentimes, if you just sit
a little
back
bit.
and just give your situation a second thought, you might see that it's dire. It might not be as dire as you're thinking. For that's what happened with YingYangGujju. Or if something feels insurmountable, you might by stepping back and sort of viewing it as through sort of a more objective lens, then you might be able to sort of find you might be able to think of a solution that wasn't coming to you before while you were still dealing with it directly.
Right.
I mean, at least that's based on what based on what I know about it, that's what it's for. So I guess since the screen's still on me, I'll give my reflection. So sort of like with YingYangGujju, I had sort of a rocky first week, but overall it's just it's going to take time. Like that's really it. Because I mean, building habits takes there are sources around the internet that say 21 days, but apparently there are other sources that say it's about 3 times that amount. So it just takes patience. There's no such thing as a quick solution to these kinds of problems. Whether
There
it's
was another source.
Oh,
There
sorry.
was a source that said it took as little as 60 days, but it took as long as 254 for some other people. So You just got to figure out where you like land on there.
Yeah. So basically, what we're saying is, changing your life for the long term takes a very long time. At the minimum, 2 months. At the maximum, almost 2/3 of a year. So
it fucking does.
I mean, basically, if there are any of you out there who are experiencing similar problems, it just takes patience. I mean, so basically, if you're not seeing results right away, don't give up, because I mean, if you stick with it and really like give it your all, you'll eventually push through.
So basically, the real summary is,
for my reflection.
Okay.
Hey, you cut him off, you asshole.
Thanks. For my reflection, basically, so I took the time to read Power of Habit. And I think I recommended this book last week, but I'm gonna recommend it again because holy shit, this book is. If you haven't read that book or you don't have a PDF of it, please, for the love of God, go out and acquire this book somehow, at least for the first 3 chapters, because at the last 2 go more so into depth about the ethics of implementing, these behaviors and how they could be helpful, but how they could also be very dark. Because he actually mentions a case in the book where there was a serial killer who blamed his habits for committing all those crimes. It wasn't him. Which it was really fucking interesting, but I haven't gotten to that part yet. Weird, right? But so basically the whole point of this is to try to implement mindfulness and mindful work towards building up habits for myself and becoming a better person. But I'm also going to have to start recording, as I said, logs. So I guess to summarize this reflection, I'm going to need to start journaling the fuck out of my day. And I'm going to need to probably just, start getting busy. I know that's not what I said earlier, but journaling is probably going to take up the most of this, and implementing habits as well. So I don't have any advice to give to anyone. I don't know if we're doing that now, because I'm starting off like you guys, but if you want to find a motivation for it, one of the things that I like to do is I like to stop focusing on myself after a while when I realize it's something I want to do and just start doing it. And it's kind of weird how that kind of works as a paradox, because you're doing something you want to do, but once you start doing it, you don't really focus on yourself anymore. I don't know how that works, and I don't want to go on and give long-winded theories about how that works, but that's what I've experienced. And if you agree or disagree, you can comment below about it. We're going to be here talking. We'll be scouring around the YouTube page, all 3 of us. Probably mostly me, but all 3 of us regardless. But yeah, so that's my reflection. Journaling, implementing habits, and my advice is for motivation, stop focusing on yourself all the goddamn time. The universe isn't about you.
Well, that's a very hostile bit of advice.
Sometimes people need a slap in the face. Sometimes people need a slap in the fucking face just to get out of their own skin.
Yeah, you selfish bastard. Stop thinking about yourself.
Seriously.
And also, covering our asses here, we mean a metaphorical slap to the face, not a literal slap to the face. We don't condone domestic violence on this show.
Why is that gotta be domestic violence, man?
Yeah.
Or self-harm, whatever it may be.
Okay, either way, I'm not condoning that you go out and actually slap someone, because especially if you live in Metro Atlanta or Detroit or Los Angeles or any urban area, you know what's out there already. I don't need to tell you. But if you're coming from the suburbs and you decide to go to Atlanta and decide, hey, I'm going to slap the homeless guy in the face, and suddenly he's going to get a 401k plan together with some Social Security income, you got another thing coming. Specifically a knife.
before this derails entirely. Well, okay, so that's everything. I mean, it's fairly late here, so that's why we're all a little crazy tonight. But
No, I'm always this way.
it's a smidge, just a
No,
smidge.
I am always this way. Just a smidge. All right, whatever.
Yeah, so
I'm insulted.
that's before we go into any
Fourth goal.
incriminating
Time to be more
territory.
crazy. Anyways, this is
Trying to bring this back, and stop it before we go to a place where we should not go.
Hey, what's that
Okay,
over
so that was the Will Save for this week. Please join us next week.
Maybe.
I guess, given what we're saying at this point, join us if you dare. Join us if you dare. Bye. Have a nice night.
Later, dudes.
Out.